Hi, my name is Vladimir, and I'm a recovering addict. I'm 18 years old, and right now, I'm in Israel. I'm located in the rehabilitation center called Phoenix. What can I say? I feel like I'm reborn. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my life before I came here. So I started using drugs when I was 12 years old. Started drinking, started smoking. Before I was 12 years old, I would smoke sometimes, drink sometimes. This started when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I would, have a little drink, have a little smoke. But when I was 12 years old, that's when I could, now that I'm thinking about it, that's when I could say that I became an addict. I remember I got home one day with my friend. I was 12 years old, so I was like, let's start drinking. I took 12 shots. As a 12-year-old, 12 shots, it's a lot. 12 shots is a lot for anybody. And I remember my friend, he had 6 shots. He was laying on the couch, passed out. And I remember I was like, damn, how come he doesn't want to drink more? I feel so good. I just want to keep on drinking. So I kept on doing shot after shot until the bottle was gone. I remember how much I love that feeling of being in an altered state of consciousness. I remember how when I kept falling, my face flat on the floor, I would laugh, and I was like, damn, this is what I need in my life. This is what I've been missing my whole life. Before I started using drugs, I was a straight A student. Came from a nice family. We had money, enough to support all of our needs, enough to put food on the table, enough to go on vacation once or twice a year. I was a swimmer. Swam in the Junior Olympics in the state of New Jersey. My parents were always very proud of me. All the teachers kept saying how much of a bright student I was. All my parents' friends always kept saying, your son is something else. He's very smart, very bright. So my parents were always very proud of me. Then at some point in my life, like I said, I was 12 years old. Got tired of all of it. Got tired of the pressure that my parents put on me. They always made me do things for them. Always made me do the right thing. And I feel like when I was 12 years old, I just got tired of all the stuff that my parents tried to tell me, and I wanted to live my own life. Around 12 years old, it's like you're starting to be a teenager, you get your own mind. And I was like, I don't need my parents' advice. I'm gonna live life how I want to. So I started living life how I wanted to. Like I said, 12 years old, started smoking, drinking. By the way, when I was 12 years old, I had 12 shots. Now that I think about it, that's when I could say that I found out that I was an addict. When my friend had 6 shots, he was good. I had 12 shots, and I still wanted more, but there was no more left. 12 years old, I was smoking, drinking. Started going out to parties, hanging out with a lot of older kids. Well, kids. Could even say men, 20-year-olds. When I turned 13, that's when I started using hard drugs. Cocaine was my drug of choice at the beginning. I loved cocaine. I started selling cocaine, started selling weed. So I always had money. I always had money in my pocket. Always had drugs in my pocket. Always had somewhere to go. Since I was selling, everybody wanted me to go to their parties. Everybody wanted me to bring my drugs with them. Always had fun with girls. But like I said, that was only the beginning. And we could all remember how the difference between when we started using drugs, the difference between when we started using drugs from the time before we realized that we were addicts or realized that we needed help. So like I said, I was 13, selling coke, selling weed, had a very good time. Very good time. Hanging out with a lot of girls, going to parties. 14, same stuff. Except I started noticing that whenever my connect, who would give me the coke, whenever he wouldn't have it, started feeling very, very bad, very, very bad. So I started buying coke, even though I sold coke. Sometimes when my connect didn't have it, I used to buy coke. Used to get Adderalls, any type of amphetamines. By the time I was 15, I already tried all types of pills, ecstasy, smoked crack. I already did smoke crystal meth by the time I was 15. And at a certain point, I realized this was not, I don't know, I feel bad whenever I did uppers. I felt really bad. The come down, I remember times when, I'd come back from the party, I'd have a little bit of coke left, finish those lines, and I'd be stuck alone in my house, in my room. And I'd be thinking to myself, what do I want to do? What do I want in life? I didn't want anything. I didn't want to watch TV, didn't want to go on the computer, didn't want to even hang out with my friends, I didn't want to see my parents, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to die. When I was 15, I wanted to kill myself. Because that's how bad I felt from those come downs, now that I remember. And no matter how bad I felt from those come downs, whenever I could get that coke, whenever I could get my dose, I would go at it again, start using it right away, no matter how bad I felt. So when I was 15 years old, I remember my friends, they're not real friends obviously, but people I used to hang out with, they were just like, I told them how I started feeling bad from coke, that I only feel good when I drink, that I always, if I started, drinking like at least like a bottle about this size of vodka, a bottle of my Yorska's, the cheapest ones, just so I could pass out, because that's how bad I felt from coke. So my friends were just like, there's Roxy's, Oxy's, heroin. And I was like, well, at that time I heard, I thought heroin, damn, that's what drug addicts do. That's what people who live on the streets do. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try. Maybe I should try, see what it is. So the first opiate that I did, of course, was a Roxy. And I remember the first time I did it, how good I felt. From that day, up until the point before I went to rehab, that was my drug of choice, opiates. Roxys, Oxys, even Subutex, anything, any kind of opiate, methadone, whatever. And I always had weed. And then up to a certain point, weed just didn't do anything for me. And also up to a certain point, Oxys and Roxys didn't do anything for me. So I needed something stronger than weed. So I started smoking spice, nice guy, whatever you want to call it, incense. Cause that stuff gets you lifted. And when I was using it, started getting high again. And I was like, damn, I like it. Started sniffing Subutex because one, it was cheaper, two, got me so much more fucked up than I got from Oxys and Roxys. And yeah, that's what I was doing. Those were my drugs of choice. And of course, alcohol never left. Always had a drink. I was the type of drug addict that I don't care what it is as long as it gets me fucked up. And then, like I said, I was selling drugs, had a lot of fun in the beginning, went to parties, hung out with girls. That was in the beginning. I got up until the point, I'd say about a year before I came to Israel, I was a beggar. I started begging people on the streets for money. Because I couldn't sell anymore, because I was in a huge debt with my drug dealer. Owed him a lot of money. Somehow I paid off that money by basically selling for free. I had to steal a lot. I got lucky sometimes. You know, I remember one time I found $536 on the floor. So I gave that. Had to steal a lot. Started stealing from my parents. My parents found out. My dad bought a huge safe where he kept all the jewelry, all the whatever. So I had to start stealing. Then I started stealing from my friends. Then I started stealing from. It's funny that I think about it. You know, I started stealing from stores. And why I say it's funny that I think about it is because I got caught a lot of times. But for some reason, I guess because some might say, you know, I'm so innocent looking, you know. He's a handsome young man. You know, maybe, you know, I would always have a good excuse. I would say, yeah, I'm hungry. I have no money. I'm sorry. I got lucky a lot of times. Other times I didn't get as lucky. Other times I got caught, got arrested. A lot of bad stuff happened with me. Always, the amount of times that I've been in the police headquarters, I can't count. I really can't. Part of it is because it's been so many times. Another part is because I was always fucked up. So I don't even remember all the times. What I'm facing now in America, I was on probation for possession of hash and nice guy spice. You know, so I got arrested for that. About half a probation was given to me for like 2 years, something like that. I got arrested again in half a month. And the first time I got arrested, part of my circumstance was probation and community service. So then I got arrested again. It was January 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. Right after New Year's Eve, I remember. And it was, before I came here. So what I was facing, what I'm facing now in America, I got 3 courts that I have to go to. So it doesn't matter how long I stay here, I'm gonna have to go back to America and pay for all the stuff that I did. I have court for what I got arrested for. I have court for violating my probation. I have court for not doing community service, which I already went to that court like 5 times. Every time I would say that, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Every time they gave me 2 more months, never did it. So I have a lot of stuff on my back. I know I'm gonna go back. I have probation. I know there's gonna be fines that I'm gonna face. I know there's gonna be a lot of work that I'm gonna have to do. But thank God that I came to Israel, because if I wouldn't have came to Israel, I can almost guarantee it that I would have been in jail right now. Almost guarantee it. Because part of my circumstances was, the reason why I'm here is because I had 2 options. I could pick jail, or I could pick to go to rehab. And I was going to pick jail, because I was like, okay, jail is for a month. They're going to send me for like a month and a half to jail. 2 months max. Obviously, depending on my behavior. And I was like, rehab for 3-6 months? That's not my thing. I never went to rehab before. Never, didn't know what it was. For me, rehab was worse than prison, to be honest. Why? I don't know. Much rather be in jail than to go to rehab. And I thought rehab would be, like I said, like a prison, with huge gates around the premises, with closed doors, you can't do anything. Every day, go to groups, like 10 times a day. NA, I didn't even know what it was. I thought it would be worse than prison, like I said. So why I chose Israel from God? I have a little story about it, why I came specifically to Israel. You, as Americans, you definitely understand me when you think of Israel. What they show us on the TV over there, they show us that there's always a war going on here, always terrorists here, some kind of desert. That's what I thought. So I was walking on the street one day to go pick up from my dealer, and I literally find a huge picture book. The name of the book was Pictures of Israel, and I pick it up. I read it. I look at the pictures and I'm like, damn, these pictures are beautiful. There's forests here. It's like there's tropics here, palm trees, beautiful beaches, beautiful atmosphere, just a beautiful environment. And I was like, it's nice over here. So a week after that, my mom, she drove me to probation, picks me up, and she tells me, she's like, there's a guy who wants to talk to you. Why don't you go to talk to him? I obviously didn't want to, but I was like, where am I gonna go? My mom picked me up. She's gonna talk with him for 30 minutes. And go back to, I was living with my grandma at the time in her apartment. And I was gonna, obviously go do what I used to do best, use drugs. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna talk to this person. So I get to this parking lot. My mom was like, here's a person, go into his car. I go into his car. First thing he said to me, your mom was saying that you have a big problem. I was like, yeah, it's true. He was like, would you want to go to Israel for rehab? And without thinking twice, that's when I realized that there's no way that this happened by accident. That God sent that book that I found on the street that anybody else could have picked up. For some reason, I picked that book up, and it was laying there perfectly all organized. Somebody else could have picked out the book, but I picked it up. And when I picked it up, like I said, when I talked to that guy, I realized that's it. I have to stop fucking around with my life. I have to get some help. I knew I needed help. I knew I needed help because every night I would be like, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and I'm not gonna go and buy whatever I need to buy to get high. That wouldn't happen. First of all, because I wouldn't wake up. I would sleep for like 30 minutes, 1 hour tops. Every time I just remember this phase of me smoking, sniffing, falling asleep, waking up, smoking, sniffing, falling asleep, smoking, sniffing. That's the only thing I did. And I realized, of course, that I can't quit on my own. So that's why I accepted that help, because I knew I needed help. I didn't want my life. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be somebody great. Always wanted to, be the best at something. Everybody always said they have such high expectations from me, that I have such potential in life in general. And all that diminished. All of it diminished when I started using. Like I said, everything was fun from the beginning, and then I started begging people for money. Begging people for money and stealing. And my parents, we weren't poor. We had money, of course, Like I said, we had food on the table. But I gave all that up, all my parents' love, everything my parents had. Chose drugs. Chose the streets. Chose living like a bum. Just chose something that only addicts can understand. Chose drugs over my life. And so I come here to Israel. I didn't know what to expect. I just brought my regular clothes, I thought I'd be locked up here. Then I realized that when I came here, I came into a house. I thought this was going to be like a prison, I thought it was going to be gates, like a prison, like security. None of that. I came here, it was a house. Right before I stepped in the door, there was already people running out of the house. Already saying, telling me their names, asking me, my name, how I'm feeling, if I need some help, if I need this, if I need that. telling me where everything was, trying to help me right off the bat, right off the bat. And I was shocked. I was like, these are drug addicts? These are those drug addicts that used to be on the streets, that used to steal, they used to shoot, they used to kill, they used to do everything that drug addicts do. These people that come up to me and trying to help me, I was shocked. Like I said, it's the first time I'm in rehab, and like I said, I didn't know what it was like to live clean. So I couldn't be clean for a day because of the area that I lived in. I could always buy drugs. If I didn't have money, I could always beg people for money because I live in New York. You're always gonna find somebody to give you money. It's a huge city with like 10 million people. You're always gonna get money somehow, one way or the other. And yeah, like I finally learned to cherish life. That there is a way to laugh, to be happy, and being clean. And like I said, what I was so shocked about here is because, like I said, rehab, I thought it would be like a prison, everybody talking down on you. Here we're like a family. Here the people that own this place, all the instructors, they were all addicts. They are all addicts, recovered addicts. Why I think it's very important because they understand us. Because they went through the same exact thing. They're examples for us that, yes, people could stay clean for 4 or 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years. No matter where they came from, no matter how many drugs they used, no matter what they were before. That you could become somebody. You could become anything you want to be. The things we did to get our drugs, imagine if we put all of that use into getting what is good in life, like a job, like a wife, like bringing happiness to our family. Because we were so good at getting drugs, so good at finding money for that. Why can't we use all those skills in the real world to get not just what we want, but what we need, what is expected of a good citizen, of a good person. Like I said, here it's like a big family. We don't sit all day on our asses just watching TV or going to groups. No, it's not like that at all. Like I said, the people are helpful. They always try to tell us something. We always go somewhere. We always go to the beach, to the pool, to some kind of restaurant. Because the people here, they know what it's like. They know that, yeah, like you need to learn how to live clean. You need to, to a certain extent, be in a closed facility. But they also want to show us how you could get happiness from this life. That you could really love this life. That you could cherish everything that's in it. That you could see this life, all the beautiful colors in it. You know, like I said, this might sound funny, but like the roses, the smell, just everything. Everything in this life is beautiful. Everything. I'm sitting here on this beautiful couch that I could say is very comfortable. Because before, for me, I didn't know what comfort was. I always felt uncomfortable. Now I can truly say that I'm sitting here and I'm comfortable. I'm sitting here trying to help whoever's listening to me, trying to explain to them that there is happiness in this world besides drugs. There is a way of staying clean and loving life. Here I'm almost 3 months clean. Needless to say, I'm shocked because, like I said, 3 hours clean. I don't even think I was 3 hours clean when I lived in New York. Because I always could get money somewhere or the other, always could get my dose. Here I'm 3 months clean. And I love every minute of it. The people here, everybody I meet, the way that I change as a person. Every day I change more and more. Every day I realize all my defects. I realize all the bad things in me. And I talk about it. And it's weird, but talking about it makes you feel better. I'm not even gonna lie right now. I feel like I feel better because today Yeah, today I obviously, there's always problems in life. Today I felt a little bad in the morning. There's some arguments with my family, over some stuff. So, I felt bad. Life is not a picnic. There's bad, there's good moments, but that's life. And I can honestly say right now that I'm talking about what happened, about how I'm here finally, about where I was and where I came from, how good I feel. Because talking helps you. And yes, the way I was raised, I'm Russian, my dad was very strict. Obviously, he was in the army. He told me never let people show you, never show other people your emotions. Always keep everything inside you. Hold yourself together. Don't talk about it. Don't make other people think you're weak. It's not right. Anybody here will tell you it's not right. You gotta talk about your emotions. You gotta talk about whatever is bothering you. And it's weird, but it helps. And it helps even more when you understand that people are listening to you, and when after you say something, they tell you how they feel about what you said, how they feel when they feel bad. Because they try to help you. And in this place, we're like a big family. Everybody here tries to help each other. I've seen a lot of, I was here for 3 months, I've seen a lot of people come and go. But much more people came than left. The people that left, those are the people that came here for 3 days and said, that's it. That's it. I came here. Those are the people that came here just to lower the tolerance. That's not why I came here. I came here to learn how to live clean. I came here to learn how to love life. If you want to stay clean, if you want to love life, if you want to come to a big happy family that will welcome you with open arms, help anybody that comes. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what kind of orientation you are. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter how you act in the beginning, because here you will learn how to love and cherish life. You will learn all the right things that you need to do to keep yourself clean. You will learn how to battle all those emotions that you have sometimes. Because before, whenever we felt bad, whenever we felt good, what would we do? We would go use. Here, they teach you how to battle with those emotions, and how to feel good after, how to feel great that you didn't go use because something bad happened. Instead, you talked about it, you did what you had to do, you overcame those emotions, staying clean. And there's very, very wise words that I know that my dad always used to tell me, that the greatest victory is the victory over yourself. That's the greatest victory in life. Knowing the difference between what you want and what you need is huge. And here, they teach you, you find out the difference between what you want and what you need. So, this is a great place if you truly want to stay clean, if you truly want help. I'm grateful that I didn't get to experience all the other rehabs, because what a lot of people here, they've been to 10, 15 rehabs before, different ones. Rats crawling on the floor, people talking down on you, sometimes even getting beaten. It's funny that I'm thinking about that, because now it's complete, like this place is nothing like that. As you can see, it's a beautiful house. Beautiful. Everything about this is beautiful. People here give their heart to the people that want to stay clean, that need help. So I'm very thankful that I came here. I'm very thankful that I didn't go to some other rehab, that I came here. Because there's no need to experience other rehabs. Because a lot of people that been 10 other rehabs, even in America and Russia and Israel, they say nothing is like this place, because those are like prison. They were like prison. Here, it's a house. We're a big happy family, and that's what I need. Because as a drug addict, I could get very emotional. I need people to support me. Here I feel comfortable crying. And only realized that here, because before, especially the fact that my dad is so strict and that I'm Russian, it's like crying. Men don't cry. You kidding me? Men don't cry. Here I feel comfortable crying. Doesn't matter in front of who. In front of a man, in front of a woman. I cry because I know that these people don't judge me. That's one of the most important things that I learned here. Not to judge somebody. We all have our problems. We all have our good and bad sides. And the most important thing is not to judge. So I could say I changed a lot. If you would have seen how I came here, I'm not too fat right now, but I came here weighing 130 pounds. I was a stick. I'm almost 6 feet tall, weighing 130 pounds. That's way below the average. Now, I'm 155 pounds. Because I eat here, because I work out here. Because I get a rush from staying clean now. I get a rush from when I laugh, when we're sitting outside or inside, I get a rush from like all the jokes. I love laughing now. I used to laugh only when I was high. Now I'm laughing clean. I never laughed like I laughed here in my life. The people here are funny to death. It's ridiculous. Obviously, as drug addicts, we have a lot of funny stories that we could tell. Of course, more sad ones, unfortunately, but try to keep that in the past. The past is the past. The future is the future. So I gotta live just for today. Only for today. Because you can't touch the past. It already left. You can't touch the future. You didn't even know what's gonna happen. But today, I could touch this couch. I could touch myself. That's why I live for today. And when you think about it, I'm only living for today. Gonna stay clean for today. All of that pressure just goes away. So I would like to see a lot of new people here. And from the bottom of my heart, everybody will welcome you here. But me, I will personally welcome you here. You need a hug, I'll give you a hug. You need support, I'll give you support. You need something. You need to know where something is. You need something brought to you. You're gonna be withdrawing. We're gonna be running around you like servants. I'm saying why I'm saying me is because you gotta speak for yourself. But I can guarantee you that every single person in this house will say the same exact thing. So everything will be okay.